Hello everyone, I am Aniket Dattatreya Takle. Today I am telling about endocrine system. So let's start. Endocrine system is also known as chemical messenger system. This system contains hormones and organs that produces hormones. Specifically, in that it is a regulatory system which helps in homeostasis. In that endocrine system, which operates with endocrine glands that secrete chemicals which is called as hormones. So let's learn about various endocrine glands. In that, endocrine glands is also known as ductless glands. In that, we are studied parathyroid, thymus, adrenal, pancreas, and testes and ovary. So let's start. The first is ductless glands. In that, endocrine glands are also known as the ductless glands because of the fact that their secretions are released directly into the blood, not to any tubes or ducts. In that, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal body, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal glands, pancreas, and gonads are the major glands which makes up the human endocrine system. So in that, first is pineal gland. In that, the pineal is a small endocrine gland present in the diencephalon region of the brain. It helps in the release of melatonin, which has an influence on our sleep patterns. This melatonin also has a influence on the melanocytes and melanotropes present in the skin. Second one is pituitary and hypothalamus. In that, the pituitary gland is a small endocrine gland with a weight of 0.5 to 1 gram and a diameter of 1 centimeter. It is situated in the sphenoid bone at the base of the skull. It is connected with the hypothalamus by the hypophyseal stalk or pituitary stalk. In that, the hypothalamus links the nervous and endocrine system through the pituitary. In that also, the hypothalamus is the site of synthesis for the posterior pituitary hormones like the oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone. That means ADH. In that, the anterior pituitary hormones include the growth hormones, thyroid stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and adrenocorticotropic hormone. That means ACTH or etc. Third one is parathyroid gland. In that parathyroid gland are four small glands present as a pair in each lobe of the thyroid gland. In that, the gland produces the parathyroid hormone, that means PTH, which regulate the level of calcium ions in the blood. And the PTH regulates the calcium levels along with calcitonin by promoting the breaking of bones, reabsorption by the renal system, and absorption of calcium ions from food. In that also, the normal bone destruction by osteoclasts in bone resorption is triggered indirectly by PTH, that means parathyroid hormone. Fourth one is thymus. In that, thymus gland is a lymphoid organ positioned between the two lungs behind the sternum. Structurally, it is a two-lobed gland forming a major part of the immune system. That the peptide hormone called thymosin, secreted by the thymus gland, produces T lymphocytes for the cell-mediated immunity and antibodies for humoral immunity. That an arrival of puberty, the human thymus becomes much smaller and starts to disintegrate, which in turn reduces the production of thymosins. This is why immunity in old individuals is generally weaker than immunity in infants. Fifth one is adrenal glands. In that, adrenal glands are two triangular shaped glands present at the top of each kidney. The outer cortex part secretes a hormone generally known as the corticosteroids, while the inner medulla produces hormones generally known as the catecholamines. In that, catecholamines include two types of hormones. First one is adrenaline, it is called as epinephrine, and noradrenaline, it is called as norepinephrine. These hormones are called emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight because they are released commonly under stress. During emergency situations, the level of adrenaline will be high in the blood. As a result, our body becomes more alert, starts sweating, the heartbeat increases and so does the cardiac output. In that, the rate of cellular respiration also get increased. In that, corticosteroids means corticoids are secreted from the three layer of the adrenal cortex, namely zona reticularis, zona fasciculata, and zona glomerulosa. In that, glucocorticoids example like cortisol and mineralocorticoids example is aldosterone are two corticoids which help in the metabolism of carbohydrates and regulation of electrolytes in our body. In addition, cortisol produces immune responses, anti-inflammatory reactions, and stimulates RBC production other than corticoids. The adrenal cortex also produces a minute amount of androgen that plays a role in secondary sexual characteristics. Next one is pancreas. That pancreas acts as an endocrine as well as the exocrine gland. The endocrine part produces insulin and glucagon and helps to maintain the equilibrium of blood glucose levels. These hormones are produced by two types of cells of the islet of larynx, and that they are alpha cells which secretes the hormones glucagon, while the beta cells secrete the hormone insulin. Both of these hormones contradict each other's actions. In that, glucagon results in hyperglycemia by stimulating glycolysis and gluconeogenesis, while insulin is a hypoglycemic hormone which increases glucose uptake and utilization by stimulating glycogenesis. A person who has prolonged hyperglycemia suffers from an endocrine disorder called as diabetes mellitus. Such patients are treated with insulin. Next one is gonads. Gonads are nothing but the reproductive glands which include both male and female sex organs. In that, the male gonad, also called as testis, is the primary center which produces androgens. Testosterone is an important hormone among them. They are responsible for the secondary sexual characteristics of puberty and other hormonal regulations. A pair of ovaries is the female gonad. They secrete two hormones, namely estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, the hormone that is synthesized by ovarian follicles, is responsible for secondary sexual characteristic during puberty. Both estrogen and progesterone together help in pregnancy and the menstrual cycle in women. Even through hormones secreted in the body are mainly contributed by the endocrine glands or organs such as the brain, heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, placenta, etc. also secrete hormones. That's are all about human endocrine system. Thank you.